All right, wonderful. Well, welcome everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Practice Better's Better Business Conversations. I am Jen, and I am joined by a very special guest for our episode today, Amy Lippmann. Welcome, Amy.
I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah,
Welcome,
we're so happy to have Amy here. And today, Amy is going to be talking to us all about how to give wellness talks that get you clients every time, even during a pandemic, which I love that. And I just wanted Amy to give a little intro to you for anyone who's tuning in who may be new to you and your work. So Amy is a marketing strategist and founder of Marketing for Health Coaches. So Amy attended the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, and after 5 years as a health coach herself, back in 2011, she merged her marketing roots with her passion for wellness by launching her company, Marketing for Health Coaches. So that's where she now helps thousands of health coaches and nutritionists really successfully get clients, launch their online programs, and grow their lists. Amazing. So Amy has used the exact methods that she's going to teach today in this session to build her business, as well as help hundreds of health coaches to do the same. We are so excited to learn from you today, Amy. This is going to be an incredible session, and I know everyone tuning in is going to absolutely love it. So I'll hand it over to you to take it away.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Jen, for that warm introduction. I'm so excited to be here, everyone. I'm kind of pretending that this is a live audience because I don't know about you all, and this also plays into the topic today, but there's an energy you get from speaking to people, whether it's online or whether it's in person, and just being able to be with people. And so I was in sort of setting my energy for this. I was like, I'm going to just imagine that you all are here with me in this moment. So, yeah, so I'm going to share some slides here and we're going to get started. Okay. So I do want to say, and I know this is like a recorded training, but something that I always speak to is I would encourage you, since you've decided to click play on this training, to give yourself the gift of not multitasking right now. I would invite you to give yourself the gift of just allow yourself, however amount of time this is, about maybe 45 minutes, to focus on what I'm teaching, because I know that it's going to be really, really helpful for you. And I just think life in general is so much less stressful when we're not multitasking, right? We can like breathe, and we can give ourselves that gift of like, let me just focus on one thing. So that's kind of my soapbox on that. As we dive in, I want to ask you a question that, obviously you can't answer live, although I guess you can add comments under the video, but have you been struggling to make money as a health coach, especially now that the world has changed a bit, but you would love to have a consistent way to build your list and get clients that you know works, even in today's changing climate? So I'm guessing if you're watching this video, the answer is yes. I mean, who wouldn't want that, right? And what I want you to know is that, number one, if you are struggling, that you're not alone. And number two, that I'm going to show you how to fix this today. So you're in the right place if you are just starting out and you want an easy, no cost way to get clients quickly. You are in the right place if you've been out there giving talks online or locally, but you're not getting clients from them. You're in the right place if you're not sure what to say or do at talks and you want an easy way to feel confident that you can get clients from them. And you're in the right place if you're worried no one is going to show up to your talks and you want a way to market them effectively. And you're in the right place if you're ready to follow a proven method to get a consistent stream of clients each month. I love a proven method. We always want to put our special twist, right? Like we don't want to feel like we're locked into someone's formula, but there is a method that I think you're going to love. Our clients love it, and I think it's going to feel really good to you, and it just works like a charm. So I know Jen gave me such a warm introduction. Just to kind of recap, I'm Amy Lippmann. I'm a former health coach myself, and I'm a marketing expert specializing in wellness. And I've been helping health coaches grow their business since 2011. So here's what you're going to learn today. You're going to learn why giving talks is still the best way to consistently get clients and what you need to do differently now that the world has changed. Plus, I'm going to share the mindset you're going to want to have to be super successful with giving talks, the best ways to market your talks during the pandemic to make sure people show up and that they're well attended, the exact talk structure and materials that you need to get clients every time, and how to give a talk packed with great content that's designed to get clients hungry to work with you without leaving you feeling salesy. I know that's a big one for a lot of us, right? We're helpers. We want to be of service to people. We don't want to sell. And so there's a really beautiful way to do this that I will show you today. So I'm going to share as much as I can in the time we have. And I also have a really powerful resource for you as a bonus gift. And it is our 5 clients in 30 days action plan that lays out exactly what to do every day for the next 30 days to get you 5+ new clients. And it infuses what I'm teaching you today into this action plan. So I know there's a link below the video where you can get access to this bonus, and we'll talk a little bit more about that at the end. So today you're going to learn the exact steps and the things that you need to give talks that get you clients. And back in 2005, I went to nutrition school, like Jen said, at the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. And after graduating and during my entire 5 years as a health coach, I used talks as the primary way to get clients. And during my 5 years, I used it to, like I said, get clients and build my list. But most of that time, I'm going to be honest with you, when I wrote my talks, I was basically winging it. And maybe you're in that situation too. That's what we kind of do, right? When we don't have a formula or a strategy. When we get out of school, we're like, all right, I see other people doing this. Let me do the same thing and figure it out. And I did have some success with speaking, but I knew in the back of my mind that I could have had much more success. Like I was really having to work so hard. And I also know I needed to grow with technology, and because I wanted freedom to be able to do things online as well as locally, I wanted to learn how to give a great online talk that got me clients and build my private coaching and my group programs. I'll never forget one of my early teleseminars, and maybe that word, depending on when you came into this field, teleseminars were what existed before webinars, and webinars weren't a thing that was widely available. Only like big corporations were doing webinars. So did a teleseminar, so just my voice. And moments after I was done, my inbox had 10 emails from people who wanted to speak with me. And I had never had results like this before, and I was floored, but I knew I could do even better. So I researched and I studied, I learned the formula on how to give talks locally and online, and I learned how to craft talks in a way that really catapulted my results into a multi-6-figure business. And in 2011, something magical happened where health coaches who saw my results started asking me to help them with their marketing. And I finally merged my marketing roots, which I did have somewhat of a marketing background before becoming a health coach. And I merged that with my passion for wellness by starting marketing for health coaches. And a lot has changed with giving successful talks since the pandemic started. But there's a reason why I'm still doing this today. I'm still giving talks, and my successful clients are doing it too. So let's look at why giving talks is the top client getting strategy, even in a time where some of the old options and places to speak aren't always available. So first off, it gets you in front of a group of people who are interested. People who attend your talks are pre-qualified. They've raised their hand, figuratively and literally, to say, yes, I want to know more about this topic. And that means that the people who show up to that talk are going to be primed and interested in what you have to offer. Talks also give you the opportunity to connect and to educate. And while there are a lot of other promotional strategies out there, speaking to a group of people is the most powerful way to quickly create connection. In a local talk, people can see you, they can get to know you, feel your energy. And in an online talk, they can also see you, they can hear your voice, they get a sense of your personality. And because you're sharing valuable information, they see you as an expert, the expert that you are, and they come to know, like, trust you and want to work with you. Giving talks also allows you to consistently get clients and grow your list. Whether you're a new coach or you've been in business for a while, this is a strategy you can count on every time, if done the right way, to bring you new clients and program participants. It is more effective and a better use of your time than ads, Facebook groups, posting or advertising on social media, blogging, or email marketing. Now, that being said, I'm not saying you shouldn't do some of those things, but giving talks is still the most effective strategy. And you can use this whether you have an online business or one that's primarily in person, and whatever stage of business you're at. And it's totally free, which is important when you're not yet making a lot of money in your business. And people want connection and better health now more than ever. And since I was already working with health coaches and I had a formula down for giving talks that help people quickly build their businesses, I decided to create the most effective done-for-you wellness talks on the market, which is why, with all my knowledge in how to give great talks that get you clients, I decided to create wellness talks designed specifically for health and nutrition pros that are actually designed in the most beautiful way to make it super easy for you to get clients and build your list without any icky feelings. And our Done For You Wellness Talks have helped over 1,000 coaches to get clients and fill their group programs. And the most rewarding thing is seeing my clients succeed because they had a consistent way to fill their group programs, to get clients, and stop the struggle and spinning their wheels on a bunch of things that didn't work. So as we dive in, let's talk about why you might be struggling to get clients, because it was common even before we had a global situation on our hands that coaches were struggling to get clients and fill their programs consistently. But especially now that we've got more restrictions going on, I'm seeing more coaches than ever were having a tough time spinning their wheels or trying lots of time-consuming marketing strategies that aren't bringing them new clients. And it's because they're missing out on that one strategy that's the quickest and most effective way to enroll private coaching clients and fill their group programs like cleanses and detoxes. Obviously, that strategy is talks, both locally and online. And believe it or not, you can still do this effectively even in today's changing climate. So you can use talks as a way to fill all types of programs, including your private coaching programs and group programs like cleanses and detoxes. And many of you may have a cleanse or detox that you've purchased from me, or maybe you've got another cleanse or detox program, and you're looking for a way to fill those programs. So as we go through today's teaching, think about the types of programs that you're wanting to fill. The key ingredient to filling your programs is having a way to, I want to really highlight this, okay? So the key, if you take anything away from this training, the key to filling your programs is having a way to regularly get in front of new potential clients. That's the key to business, having a way to regularly get in front of new potential clients. And because most coaches aren't regularly bringing in fresh new potential clients each and every month to have conversations with, they end up being at a loss to fill their programs. and the easiest and fastest fix to get you in front of new potential clients, get your list growing like wildfire, and fill your coaching programs is through giving talks. So I want you to think about which one of these describes you best. A, are you giving talks now? B, are you just thinking about giving them? C, have you given talks in the past, but you feel unsure how to do them right now? Or D, do you want to give them, but you feel overwhelmed with writing one? No matter which one of these is you, there is a way to give talks where you can be really, really successful. So I want you to see how this worked for one of our clients, Jennifer Agazzo. I'm just going to take a sip of tea. Jennifer's used giving talks as the main method for getting clients and getting the word out about what she does. And she started giving talks for groups at her church where she's really involved. As word spread, she's been asked to give talks for a local networking group, a local gym, a holistic esthetician, and the YMCA. And she's got clients from every talk, and her clients then send her referrals, and those referrals sign up because they immediately trust her. So 6 months after starting her health coaching practice, she had 21 clients. Now, you might not want 21 clients. You might just want, 8 or 10 or something. But I want you to see what's possible. So are you excited? I know you can't actually respond to me, but I'm going to pretend that we're live. So now that I've shared why speaking works like a charm, are you excited to give it a try? I hope you are. So before we dive into the mistakes to avoid when giving talks, let's take a look at the mindset to have in order to truly take advantage of this strategy. So there are new and different possibilities for speaking right now that just weren't available 2 years ago before the pandemic. And that's because more corporations and groups are wanting to bring in speakers for Zoom meetings, especially around the topics of health and wellness, meaning that it's easier than ever to get a yes to having you be a speaker in someone else's group. People are more open to learning online and therefore more open to showing up to something online. Even your grandmother is getting on Zoom these days. And of course, there are still many opportunities to do in-person gatherings too, depending on where you live. So be sure to be thinking about the new possibilities, be creative, be open to doing things differently. And those of you who are interested or who have our Done For You Wellness Talks, we go deeper into that insight to help you use it. Let's talk about some of the common mistakes to avoid when giving wellness talks. So you want to get out your pen and paper and take some notes because I'm going to show you how to fix them along the way. So let's dive into the biggest mistake. Mistake number one is not knowing how to promote your talks, whether they're local or they're online, so that you have a room full of people who are eager to learn from you. So I want you to just imagine for a moment. You've spent a month working on your talk. You've got beautiful slides with amazing content. And when you show up for your talk, whether it's online or in person, only 2 people show up. And I want you to know this is a really common experience for coaches, and it's all because of not knowing how to promote your talks to get people to show up. And this is a big one because you can have the most amazing talk planned, but if you don't have people there either in person or online, you're always going to struggle to get clients through giving talks. And what's worse is that you're going to be left feeling depleted and sad, feeling like you put in all this effort with little return. And I can tell you, it happened to me early on as a health coach. I will remember always the talk I gave to one person, and I just wish that I could have packed up and gone home. But actually, the good news is that one person I gave the talk to became a client. So the good news is no matter how many talks you've given or what experiences you've had so far, if you've experienced this, it's very fixable with a few simple shifts. So here's what you want to do instead. You've got to have a marketing plan that gets the word out and motivates people to show up. And this is true whether your talks are local, in-person talks, or online talks. And in addition to having people show up, we want to get the right people to your talks. So let's look at a process that you can use to do exactly that. And getting the right people to your talk starts with creating a results-based title and topic for your talk. So let me give you an example of something I see people do, which is having a topic like eating healthy with whole foods. If you've ever used a topic like this, I get it. You're passionate about teaching this content, probably because eating with whole foods has made a huge difference for you. And you probably feel like you want to keep your topic general so you can reach a wide audience. And I completely understand, and there's no shaming here. But what happens when you use a topic like eating healthy with whole foods is that you'll get 2 people to show up. And that's because the talk topic doesn't tell people how it's going to help them specifically. It doesn't spell out how it's going to help them solve a specific problem that they're experiencing. With a general topic, people simply won't show up, whether it's online or in person. We're all busy. Think about yourself. You decided to watch this training today because you know this is an important topic for you. You knew you couldn't miss it. And truthfully, we have to do the same thing when we create talks for our audiences. So you've got to make your topic so enticing that they're willing to make time for it. So again, it doesn't matter if you're doing a local talk or an online talk, you need a compelling title for people to show up. So for nutrition and health coaches, we've done some research, and there are 3 main topics that do really well: getting more energy, dealing with sugar cravings, and weight loss. But even if you know a topic does well, you've got to have a compelling title for your talk. And many of you may be familiar with nutrition schools talking about giving a beat the sugar blues talk. And what I see is most coaches don't have success for this. And it's because people don't walk around thinking, boy, I've got to beat these sugar blues. I got to figure out how to beat these sugar blues. Like, they're not saying that. So when creating your title, you want to lead with the main result your audience wants, they're aware of, and use the words your ideal clients use. So for example, one of our Done For You Wellness talks is focused on helping people who are struggling with nagging sugar cravings, and it's preventing them from losing weight. Could also be preventing them with energy, like you could fill in the blanks. But the title for this particular talk is Struggling with Nagging Sugar Cravings, How to Lose the Weight Even If You Don't Have Any Willpower. So you can see here how I made the title relate to a specific pain point. And the pain point isn't beating the sugar blues. It's about, not being able to lose the weight and having cravings all the time. And that's what people are thinking about. You also want to let people know through your title that what they're going to learn is new, that it's not the same stuff they've read in magazines. And ultimately, you want to give them the idea that you have something to share that's going to make their life easier that they haven't heard before. And this is going to pique their curiosity. So once you have your topic and your title, you need to have the right marketing materials that make it super easy for you or your talk host to promote your talk and get people there, whether the there is in person or it's online. So let's start by talking about what materials you need to promote an online talk that motivates people to sign up and show up. You need to have a landing page or an opt-in page where people can register. A landing page and opt-in page are the same thing. They're just 2 different terms. And it's a page where you promote the talk, and you have an opt-in box where people can enter their name and email. So you can see an example here. And your landing page should do nothing but promote your talk. And if you're doing a local talk, in addition to having a way for people to register online, you'll also want to have a compelling flyer that advertises the talk that you can give to businesses that are hosting you, and they can send it out electronically. They can hang it up on their doors or pass it out to their employees. Having a well-designed flyer that's ready to go also makes you look like a professional, makes it an easy yes when you're reaching out to places to host you because you've already got all the work done for them. And no matter if you're doing an online talk or a local talk, you're going to have people register, and then they're going to get on your email list. And that means that you need to have a great email sequence that you send out to promote your talk, and also a reminder email sequence that gets them to show up live. And I can't stress the importance of getting people to show up live enough, because this is how you're going to be able to give value and motivate people to want to work with you. And this email series can feel daunting, I know, but it's really a must, and it helps get people into that pre-buying mode. And there are a whole host of things that you'll want to do to promote your talk online. You'll want a blog post or an article that you can send to your list and post on social media to get people really interested in the talk topic. And you want to have a process for promoting your event in online platforms that get you in front of new audiences, like on Eventbrite. And a really quick, funny story about Eventbrite: when I went to redesign our new 2022 Done For You Wellness talks, the team and I set up a fake talk on Eventbrite. So we were making a tutorial, and we got over 10 people registered. Like, we literally did nothing but set up this event on Eventbrite. No promotion. And we had to kindly let people know that the event was actually not happening. So Eventbrite is great because they promote your event to people who have already showed an interest in events like yours and are likely to show up either online or in person. You'll also want to promote your talk with some great images and posts on social media, and this can help you build momentum and get people to share it with their friends. And here's a pro tip. So a pro tip is to give your talk attendees a bonus for showing up live. And this strategy works really well to boost your live attendance. And of course, we built these into our Done For You Wellness talks. You want to be sure that the bonus that you're giving them directly helps them solve the main problem they're having and makes them feel like they've got to show up live. See how this worked for our client, Caitlin Russell. When Caitlin offered her first talk online, she had a small list and wanted to use the online talk in part to grow her list. And by following the ideas we just discussed for promoting her talk, about half the people who signed up for her talk were new to her list, and she was thrilled. So do a quick check-in with yourself. Do you have the items that we just discussed to get people signed up and showing up for your talks? And if you've done talks in the past and have kind of been underwhelmed with the results, this could be part of why. All right, so let's dive into mistake number 2. This is a mistake that many coaches make, and it's a really easy one to make. And it's the mistake of giving a talk that isn't structured in a way that naturally leads your audience to want to work with you. And here's why this is a problem: because when your talk isn't structured well, you're going to feel salesy and awkward. And odds are you'll give a great talk and teach them a lot, but either one of two things is going to happen. Number one, you won't sell much or get many clients because you did feel awkward. Or number two, you just don't invite people to work with you altogether because it feels off to do so. And what happens most times is that most coaches think, because they've been told, that they just need to go out and give talks. But here's the thing: giving information doesn't help your audience want to work with you. And coaches don't often realize that there's quite a lot that goes into creating a talk that does the selling for you and gets your audience excited to work with you. So if you're not following a structure and you're just going out and giving informational talks, this can lead to a lot of work on your part and very little client intake, because your talk wasn't designed to get your audience to want to work with you. It was just designed to give great information. So here's what you want to do instead of just giving a talk, which is what most people do. You want to follow a proven structure that allows you to give that great content, but also sets the audience up to want to work with you. And doing this actually gets your audience excited about the possibilities of working with you. So here's how to structure your talk in a way where you give a ton of value and you get your audience excited to work with you in a way that won't leave you feeling salesy. So let's start out by looking at your talk as having 3 distinctive components. They are: number 1, the opening sequence; number 2, the main content; and number 3, the closing sequence. And let's break these down for you one by one. So let's start with the opening sequence. So the goal of the opening sequence is to make your audience your friend and build credibility. You want to capture their attention from the very beginning by making it all about them. And this opening sequence has 4 parts. The first is audience engagement. This is the time to ask the audience a question that engages them right away, gets them saying yes, and lets them know that your talk is going to be all about them and it's going to help them solve their main problem. So this is an example of an audience engagement question we use in our Done For You weight loss talk. It reads, do you feel like you eat healthy and you've tried lots of diets out there, but you still struggle to lose weight and actually keep it off? So can you see how this question gets the audience engaged right away and gets them saying yes? All right, so next, we're going to let them know that they're in the right place. And this is important because it lets them know that you understand what they're experiencing, what they've been struggling with, and makes them feel like you're the right person to help them. And they're going to feel this subconsciously, but it's going to be powerful for them nonetheless. And you actually saw me do this. In fact, pretty much everything I'm teaching you, almost everything I'm teaching you today, it's a little bit different because this is a recorded training where I'm not like inviting you to work with me because of the nature of we're just doing a free training here. But you can kind of notice, particularly my opening sequence, that I'm modeling what I'm teaching for you. So you can kind of see how that works. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to introduce yourself and your story. And once you've let the audience know that it's all about them, that's when you want to transition to you. This is a crucial part that many coaches skip over, but it really builds your credibility and it sets you up as the expert if you do it correctly. So to make this easy for you, one of the things we do in our Done For You wellness talks is to draft out how to do this so you can follow a proven formula to set yourself up as the natural expert on the topic you're speaking on. And then, excuse me, lastly, you want to mention that there's a way to work with you. So you've introduced yourself and the audience feels your expert status. It's important to tell them that what they're going to learn in a way that gets them excited, and it tells them that there's a way to take this further with you. This is a critical step in the process. So your audience is going to know right off the bat that there's more for them after the talk, and they won't feel weird when you share later in the talk how to work with them. So here's an example for how to mention that there's more. And these slides are from our Done For You energy talk. So you can use this verbiage in your next talk also. So we say, I'm going to share as much as I can in the time we have. That lets them know that you're going to provide a ton of value. And it's a reminder to you that you couldn't possibly teach them everything you know in the time you have. Then you're going to tell them that you're going to give them some great resources, one of which is a free gift, so that it's easy for them to implement what you're teaching. And lastly, you'll say that they're going to be some of them who are action takers who want some extra help, and you'll give them a way to do that. So we're going to go over how to invite your audience to work with you in a few minutes, but for now, just know that you want to start positioning your invitation here in the opening sequence. And doing this, what's going to happen when you do this is it takes the pressure off of you because there won't be any surprises or discomfort when the topic of working with you comes up towards the end of your talk. Basically, it's going to feel great to you and great to them. And this step gets everyone excited. It makes you feel like you're being of service and not being salesy. So we covered the opening sequence. Now let's talk about how to structure the main content of your talk. And this is a place where a lot of coaches think they're doing great because you've done a ton of training and you know a whole lot. But the content part of your talk is actually a place where I see coaches making a common mistake, and that is giving way too much information and overwhelming your audience. And this happens to so many coaches because we think I have to prove myself, and the more content I share, the more likely that people are going to see me as an expert. And I've heard so many examples of coaches feeling like they want to build credibility, and they think the way to do that is to share everything that they know. But when you do this, what happens is that instead of giving a talk that excites your audience to want to work with you, the audience gets overwhelmed with all the information. No one wants to work with a coach that overwhelms them. So a tip here would be to keep your content to 3 to 5 teaching points for the entire talk. Anything more than that can feel like too much information for your audience. And here's a great recipe that you can always use to deliver powerful content that gets your audience excited and it builds trust with you, all without overwhelming them. So there are 4 parts to the main content. First, you want to share what you're going to cover during the talk. This is going to get your audience excited to learn from you. Then you're going to talk about the why for each point that you're teaching, so they walk away with a deeper understanding. And with each teaching point, share examples and client stories. This is going to seed your offer and get people excited, but more importantly, it helps people see that change is possible. It motivates them to want to make change. So doing this step is one of the most powerful things that you can do to get people understanding your content and seeing how what you're teaching could work for them too. And last, you're going to give a pro tip on how to implement the content point that you just taught them. This is naturally going to show you off as a powerful coach that knows how to break information down into doable steps. So you can see how this format helped one of our Done For You Wellness Talk clients, Gianna Surratt. Gianna shares, the talks are amazing, so easy and fluid, definitely lifesavers. After looking at my old talks, Gianna says, and comparing to Amy's, I now know what I've been doing wrong all these years. I provided too much info and had a hard time transitioning from talk content to promoting my offer. Amy's talk helped me realize how and what I need to do differently. All right, so the third and final mistake we're going to cover today is the one that's probably costing you clients the most, which is not inviting people to work with you in a way that motivates your audience and gets them excited to work with you or sign up for your program. And this mistake, it will keep you spinning your wheels wondering, why am I leaving talks without new clients? Keep in mind that making an offer or sharing a way to work with you is the reason why you're there giving the talk. I think that bears repeating, right? Making an offer or sharing a way to work with you is the reason why you're there giving the talk. And it doesn't matter how good your talk is. If you don't invite people to work with you, you're missing out on new clients and your audience is missing out on transformation, because we all know that information will only do so much for your audience. It's the working with you that's going to make the real difference in their health and their life. So when it comes to making an invitation during a talk, there are a few examples of how this mistake shows up. And you can kind of think about which of these you've done without any judgment or shame. So number 1 is you don't make an invitation at all. 2 is you rush through it. 3, you make multiple offers. 4, you don't give your audience a way to take action right then and there. 5, you don't create urgency, so a reason why they should take action right away. Or 6, you're not talking up the results and the value of what you're inviting them into. So if you've given talks before, just think about which of these you've experienced and just do it with curiosity and without judgment. And, number 1 and number 2 are really common ones. So not making invitational or rushing through it. And I want to talk about why this happens for a moment. So for those of you who are not making offers at all or just rushing through these things, why this is happening is because likely you've seen sales done the wrong way before and you felt it to be very uncomfortable. And you've decided that inviting people to work with you feels bad, and so you don't want to do it. And some examples of this are aggressive selling or what I call surprise selling. So have you ever been to a training where you thought it was just a training and you weren't actually prepared mentally when the sales pitch came? The presenter didn't let you know in advance that they were going to share an opportunity to take things further. If you felt that before, that's really common. And that's why I taught you earlier how to mention in your opening sequence that you're going to be sharing a way to take things further. So remember this sequence from earlier. If you've done the work early on in your talk of letting your audience know that there is more than just the talk they're at today, and that they can get excited about the possibilities of working with you in some way, then the closing sequence is going to feel easier because your audience already knows what's coming and they're actually excited about it. So remember, they're there because they're looking for help on the topic that you're speaking on. One of the biggest reasons that you can feel uncomfortable inviting people to work with you or join your program is simply because you don't know how to do it, let alone in a way that you feel confident will get you clients. And this is human nature about anything in life. When we don't know how to do something, we're naturally going to try to avoid it. So there's a spectrum when it comes to making an invitation. On the one side, there's no offer made at all. And this usually happens because the coach has a fear of being aggressive, like we discussed, or just not knowing how to do it. And this path obviously isn't in service of the growth of the people at your talks because they don't know how to move forward and take things deeper after your talk. Then on the other side of the spectrum, there's the all too familiar totally aggressive way, which also isn't in service of your potential clients because it turns them off of wanting to move forward. But there's a very simple formula that you can follow to be perfectly in the middle that's graceful and service oriented so that you and your audience feel comfortable while still being extremely effective at inspiring your audience to work with you. And as you can see here, when you go the graceful and service-oriented way, you'll also end up with the most clients. And you can make this portion of your talk extremely valuable to your audience because you'll use this section as a dual purpose, education and invitation. And once you know how to use compelling language that excites your audience, your energy will change and you'll actually have fun. Yes, you will. You'll have fun when inviting people to work with you. So let's talk about what kind of offer should you make during a talk. I suggest making an offer for something that's either free or low cost. So if you want more private clients, your offer can be for a free initial consultation with you, and then you'll use that call to get to know the potential client, see if they're a good fit for your one-on-one coaching program, and if so, you'll share how they can work with you privately. And if you're launching a group program like a cleanse or a detox, you can invite attendees into the program. Either way, you're going to motivate your audience by making your offer time sensitive. You want them to feel urgency because, again, this is human nature. If they think you're offering something they can take advantage of a month or two from now, they're not nearly as likely to take action. So now that you have some ideas about offers that you can make at your talk, I'm going to share how you can make your offer in an easy way that gets people excited to work with you. Plus, you'll actually be getting some script. Actually, sorry, I scratched that. But I will say, if you would like some script on exactly how to do this, just you can reach out to me. Hopefully that's okay, Jen. You can reach out to me at amy@marketingforhealthcoaches.com. And I would be happy to, it's not something we set up like as an automated thing, but I'm happy to give you our bonus talk outline that gives you some script. So just send me an email if that is something that you would like. So before we dive into your closing sequence, I do want to mention here that the closing sequence is done a little differently depending on if you're inviting people into private coaching or into a group program like a detox or a cleanse. And it's going to be different if you're leading a local talk versus an online talk. And those of you who might have our Done For You Wellness Talks or are interested in them, feel free to reach out to me about that. But I will say that I've got you covered on all the bases because we give you versions for local talks, online talks, private coaching offer, and cleanser detox offer. So I don't have the time to teach you all of the sequences right now. I'm going to share the closing sequence for a local talk where you're inviting people into a private coaching offer. And in a local talk, what you're going to do is you're going to go through most of your closing sequence right before your last teaching point, so not at the very end. And this is because your audience is really engaged at this point, and it ensures that you don't run out of time to make your invitation. It also allows you to do a bit more teaching after you make the invitation, which is going to feel really good for you and for your audience. So there's 3 parts of your closing sequence. Number 1 is to offer a free gift. Number 2 is to invite them to work with you. And number 3 is the wrap up and call to action. So let's walk through these in a little bit more detail. So the first step of your closing sequence is to offer the free gift that I mentioned earlier. And this is going to be something that directly relates to your talk content and helps them take what you're teaching and put it into action. And an easy way to offer the free gift is to have a form like the one you see here that's in our Done For You Wellness talks. This form allows you to engage your audience in a really friendly way by first asking them what they've learned so far. Then you actually walk people through signing up for your free gift. And doing this feels really special to your audience and also gets everyone doing the same thing at the same time. So it's easy for you and it's easy for them to follow the instructions. And this will get almost all of your audience on your list so you can follow up with them after the talk. Next, it's time to invite people to work with you. So remember, your audience is there because they want change, and working with you is going to be the fastest path for them to get it. So here's an example of the forms we give in one of our Done For You Wellness talks. One is to promote an initial consultation offer, and the other is to promote a detox or cleanse offer. Now, you would only use one or the other, and in our example today, we're showing you how to invite people into that initial consultation. But the point here is that you want to remember when you make your offer, you've got to make this easy for your audience to say yes, to sign up and take action. And if you look at the form on the left that we're using to invite your audience into a free initial consultation, we've got a great name for the consult. This is an example from our weight loss talk where we call the consultation a lose the weight and keep it off breakthrough session. So a pro tip here is to create a results-based name for your consultation. And you're going to offer that session for free, but you're going to share the dollar value of the session because we want people to recognize the value of having this one-on-one time with you. So can you see how using a form like this would make it really easy for people to say yes? The great part about using a form like the one you're seeing here is that you can easily walk them through what they'll get out of the session, and you'll naturally be able to describe your session in a way that gets people excited about working with you, and you'll have them indicate on the form if they want to sign up for that consultation with you. And here's Jane Smith using the marketing kit in our Done For You Wellness talks. Jane usually has 20 to 35 people show up for her talks, and most sign up for her list. And in a few minutes, I'm going to show you how to use the free gift we just talked about so you can build your list too. So, oh, I'm sorry, my slides got messed up here. We already talked about that. Somehow my slides got out of order. But no, I mean, this is just a great example of using everything we taught about in mistake number one in terms of marketing to get people to show up for your talks, and then using that free gift to grow your list. So the final step of your closing sequence is your wrap up and call to action. So once you've invited people to work with you, you're going to get back to the rest of your content. You're going to make the final points of your talk, quickly review what you taught, and then finish by calling people to take action on what they learned while at your talk. So you're going to ask them, what's the one thing they'll do based on the information they got today? And this is a great place to give them some prompts by pulling out points from your talk, and be sure to include one more invitation to sign up for a consultation with you. As Leah Gillis shares, I use the talks to enroll people into the Ready to Launch Cleanse I purchased from Amy. The talks are really well laid out. And see how this worked for our client, Mary Carmen Pizarro. She used our Done For You Wellness talks to launch her very first online talk. And at the time, she had no list, but she wanted a way to build her list and enroll people into an online detox program. So using this talk, Mary Carmen had 50 people register for the talk, which is not bad for her first one. And she brought in $3,817 in revenue with her first online detox. Then the Done For You Wellness talk brought solid leads to her list, some of whom joined her next detox program, right? So we have to remember, some people aren't going to buy right away, but if we put them on our list and we nurture them, they might sign up the next time we make an offer. And then some of them also signed up for her premium 9-week program, bringing an additional $4,784. That's a total of about $8,600 in revenue from her very first time using the Done For You Wellness talk. And she's also used the wellness talks to deliver an online talk where she promoted her VIP private coaching program. So let's look at a starting place of what you can make from your talks. Let's say you create a talk or you use one of our Done For You Wellness talks and you go out and in the next 1 to 2 months and you give 4 talks. At most, that's 1 talk a week. And at each of those 4 talks, you have 15 people attend. And I'm being conservative with the numbers here so you can see what's truly possible. And that's a total of 60 total attendees from your 4 talks. So you're going to get people with what you learned today, you're going to get people on your list, and you're going to see at least 95% of the people at the talk sign up for your list. That's 57 new engaged people on your list that you can later market to. Then at least 20% of your audience is going to want to sign up for that free initial consultation with you. So that's 12 initial consultations. And of those 12 people, you close the deal with 50% of them, meaning that 6 of those sign up as private clients. And if you're charging $997 for your private coaching program, that gives you nearly $6,000 in your pocket. And the best part of all of this is that you have a consistent way to build your list and get clients all year long. So I hope that you can see how giving talks can help you get the clients and the revenue you've been craving. How great would it feel to bring in 6 clients next month? It's totally possible. And keep in mind that my numbers are conservative here. You could book more talks, or you could have more people at your talks. You might close the deal with more than 50%, or you might have a private coaching program that's priced higher. So, as we shared, you can also give talks to fill a group program like a cleanse or detox. And like we mentioned just a bit ago, you'd want that to be structured a bit differently. And when you're using wellness talks to promote a cleanse or detox, you're going to find that a higher percentage of your attendees convert to becoming paying clients simply because the offer is going to be a lower investment and what we call an easy yes for people to jump into something like a 7-day or a 14-day cleanse program. And then people join your cleanse program and you can expect a certain percentage of those people to become private clients after the cleanse. So are you excited about giving talks? I really hope that you are, because I know what a massive difference if you implement this one strategy, and it's kind of a rinse and repeat strategy you can do over and over and over again. It will change your business. So I just want to thank you for sticking with me here to the end. And as I shared earlier, I've got a client getting bonus for you. It's going to help you get 5 clients in the next 30 days, mostly by giving talks. So it's really going to help you kind of implement what we talked about today. It's a 30-day done for you marketing plan designed to guide you through exactly what to focus on each day, because I know that overwhelm that can happen when you're like, well, what do I do next? And what do I do next? And so like being given a plan, I know I find that really helpful. And I've included some fill in the blanks marketing templates to make this really easy and simple for you. So there is a link below the video. You can also go to marketingforhealthcoaches.com/practice-better to grab that.
Amazing. Thank you, Amy. Thank you for all that incredible information. Oh my gosh, I'm listening in and just feeling so inspired by what you're sharing, because I know our communities, there's so much that you shared that's really tangible that they can take away. And I love that you kind of walked through some of those common mistakes, but not just talking to them, like helping us, like, how can we fix those, right? And it feels so doable. It's just like you were saying, sort of some simple shifts that can make a really big difference in the success of those talks, which I think is so powerful, because it can feel a little overwhelming sometimes if you're not getting those results that you want, but you really shared just some simple ways that they can make those shifts. So I think that's going to be really, really helpful for everyone. And one thing I was curious about, because I know, members in our community sometimes will run like paid webinars or talks. And I know sort of in this, we're talking about like a free talk to sort of, encourage people to sign up for a paid offer. But what are your thoughts on that? Sort of like the difference between like a paid talk versus a free talk and how that might impact their ability to like get people into their other paid offerings.
So I don't know if you have any information on like the context of them doing the paid talk.
So
That you can,
just as a revenue stream, just like a paid webinar talk.
yeah. I mean, honestly, again, and this is without knowing those particular people and like how big their list is and how big their audience is and if they're using ads. And I mean, there's definitely like a whole strategy for people who are more advanced, who are maybe using ads to consistently get clients on their list, where you make a very low priced offer and that gets people in the door, kind of in the similar way that like a short group program like a cleanse will get people in the door. But I do get the question a lot, like, should I charge for my talks? And a lot of coaches are like, well, I want to charge for my talks. And I actually generally, and again, right, this is like with the caveat of not knowing exactly the context, but generally, I don't recommend charging for your talks unless you're going into a corporation to give a talk. I recommend that you do it for free, because where the real money comes in is with the people coming to the talk and then them becoming paying clients. So whatever they're going to charge, $20 for the talk or something, that's not going to be the big money maker. And so if we can get more people to that talk, do it for free, then you're actually going to come out ahead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that totally makes sense. Yeah. And I think one other thing that sort of popped into my mind as you were saying that too, is I think some people might think that even having like a really low fee will encourage people to actually show up more because they're more accountable because they've paid. But I think what you shared that was really valuable in that is the way that you sort of title your topic and theme to make it really enticing for people. And there's a lot of those strategies that you spoke to that would really, have that even stronger encouragement and motivation for them to show up to something free. So
yeah, and that free gift that they're going to show up live.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And there was something you said earlier when we first popped back on together about there's some these tweaks that people make and it can feel doable. And I just want to say, like, and this can be an example for anything you're implementing in your business, but oftentimes we will do a strategy. We're like, oh, we've been told, I'll just use the talks. We've been told we should do talks, so I'm doing talks. I'm not getting clients from them. I guess talks don't work. I'm going to move on to something else. And the truth is, and I mean, sometimes it happens where it's like you learned a particular, or you've heard about a particular strategy and it's not working right now in this time, or it's not working for the level of business you're at. But sometimes what happens is we like throw the baby out with the bathwater. And instead of being like, well, why didn't this work? And can I have a more hone-tuned strategy for how to implement this? And so that's kind of like a big mission of mine. It's like, no, like just learn how to do it in an effective way. And then you're gonna love doing it, because let's be honest, if we're going out and we're giving talks and we're not getting a lot of clients from them time after time, it's exhausting and it's draining and we get resentful, right? But if we're going out and we're giving talks, whether it's online or in person, and we're getting a client or two from every talk we give, then it's a totally different energy, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can actually start to feel the success of that in just tweaking the strategy. And I think, in what you shared today, there's so many ways that our community can do that. So I love that, Amy. That's so good. One other thing that I just wanted to sort of make the connection to anyone in our community tuning in is just, Amy went through a really beautiful workflow of, hosting your talk and then encouraging them to work with you. Maybe it's a one-on-one type offer or a group program, and connecting sort of to the Practice Better platform. There's so many ways that you can really sort of implement that workflow, right? Like you can offer, you can set up and run your free virtual talk right through the platform. You can then, even connect with those people that joined afterward in the group chat or the chat function. So there's a lot of ways to sort of, implement that workflow in Practice Better too, which I think is really nice for anyone in our community that's watching. You could really, take what Amy's saying and put it into practice using the Practice Better technology.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Amy, thank you so much. This was incredibly valuable and just full of so many beautiful takeaways. We appreciate you so much being here, your generosity in sharing all of this information with our audience. If our audience wants to connect with you, where can they find you?
Yeah, so definitely feel free to reach out to me. My email is amy@marketingforhealthcoaches.com. You can also join our Facebook group, which is the Health Coach Collective. If you sign up for the free gift, the 5 clients in 30 days, you'll get on our list and you'll know about all of our free trainings and different things that we're offering and doing. And so I hope to connect with people in one or more of those ways.
Beautiful. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Amy. Thank you for being here. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We would love to hear from you below. What was your biggest takeaway from today's session? And really encourage you to go ahead and get that freebie from Amy. It's so valuable, and let us know, how that goes for you. And we will see you back for our next session. Thanks everyone. Thanks, Amy.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.